fun part about having the landowner pick up their share. I pick up with a machine that follows the field around and around. He picks up with his tractor. He can just as easily follow some windrows and make bunches. But instead, he's got the whole end off that field already, which means every round I make, I gotta go across the field without picking any bales up. Instead of a 5-minute load, it's a 7 or 8 minute load. You do that a few times, that costs me a lot of time. And I mentioned this is on shares. Well, normal shares, per what the government, whatever else says, if you do, say, 1/3, 2/3, landowner getting the 1/3, and the farmer getting the 2/3, landowners also pay for 1/3 of the fertilizer, 1/3 of the spray, 1/3 of the fuel used, 1/3 of the twine used. You know, if you're hauling, say, grain to town, they pay 1/3 of the hauling. And when it's said and done, they get less money in their pocket. Well, that's a pain in the ass to figure all that crap out. So we have always just, they get 1/3 of the crop. It costs us a little money in the long run. But, you know, this one, it's a pain in the butt because, like I said, he's got the whole tit of that field gone. Be straight out for me before he's got that truck loaded. Which, you know. But on the flip side of it, see his garden over there? We do reap the rewards of his garden. Not as much as we used to. Since Dad got sick and passed away, you know, he's not down there having coffee with him every morning and bringing home all kinds of veggies. Yep, still dusty. This little patch is usually lighter than the other. There's about 7 acres in the other and about 3 acres here. Talked to him earlier about maybe moving that fence. He's got a backstop there down in the tall grass for shooting. He does that muzzle loader thing. And anybody else wants to come out, sight in their rifles, he lets them. But we kind of mentioned earlier, why don't you just move some fences? And it can just kind of follow this little sweep along here and go around that. And we can go through there. And I know it's wet in there, but where the gate is between the two fields is just as wet. I've fertilized over here for him before. And, you know, I mean, I've had a harder time getting between fields over here than fertilizing all that. And all that in there, all that tall grass, that's just for his one mule that he has left. Over there, he's got fence holding the 2 steers in, and he's got 2 paddocks there for them. Steers got plenty of grass. And I really, you know, if he changes stuff a little bit or for that mule, I don't have a problem going through most of that right there. Where it's really green right there, yeah, that's a wet spot. And there's a pond over there that he's letting get grown up with trees. But, you know, there's most years, especially when we're haying, that's dry enough to get over. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you. Then if I'm picking with the bale wagon and I'm going around the whole field, he complains because he's got to pick part of that side hill up. Now you're on a tractor, everything close to the ground. I'm running a machine made to be on flat ground. Go figure. Anyway, that's what it is. And since I'm not running wagon right now, he's probably going to get all his share off that piece, and that's the better grass. That's better feed. This strip in here of this is rank and cruddy, and a lot of it's because all the water from up there runs right through here. And used to be a big ditch, but that's silted in over the years, and now it doesn't wash back out. So I think we're going to get him to take this little fence out. Not like there's much there. And we'll run the disc through up here and smooth this up. There's a spot over here in the corner that where it used to be about a 5 foot deep, 4 foot wide ditch is pretty well gone. There's no reason for it to actually even be there anymore. And what's left though is rough. Kind of a pain in the butt, but he used to mow around it with his bush hog and he quit doing that. So the last 5 or 6 years we've just mowed the whole field. And you can kind of see how the ground lays there. We'll smooth that off and we can cross it straight across. I'd be good with that. Maybe get rid of some of the cruddy grass that's in this stretch if we do that too. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get you something to the bale wagon here after a while. And looks like my mother got lost when she did this because I got to skip out of this windrow and go over to this one. Who knows? I just chase what's here. One thing I've always said, and well, the bad thing is my dad used to decide to run the tedder rake once in a while. Right up to the point that I refused to bail behind him. He told me he was raking and I could go bail, and I said, you get done raking, you can bail. He got all mad, cussed me out, you know. When it was said and done, I said, how'd you like following your rake job? After we got it was all little bales we were doing that day. After we got done with that, we went in with the V-rake after we got the bales picked up. Went out with a big baler, and I made 4 big bales out of what he left on the corners because he couldn't turn the baler to get to what he followed or what he made with the rake. And I told him, that's why number 1, we put the lock pin in the rake so it doesn't swing around. And number 2, you cut the corner a little bit. Makes a big difference. And on a little hillside, instead of a straight windrow like this on a long stretch, a windrow would be all over the frickin' place. And there's no way. This baler's got a better chance. It's got a lot wider pickup. Little New Holland only had a 4 foot pickup, and that was end to end. And this thing's, it's 8 foot tire to tire, so it's almost a 7 foot. It's 6.5 foot pickup anyway. Makes a hell of a difference, but still it's a whole lot easier to have a nice windrow to begin with. And these corners get question marked like that because, well, number 1, twice it gets raked with the tedder rake, and number 2, we keep it rigid behind the tractor, so when you turn it swings out. And Mom does a pretty good job of raking, but she never has figured that if you start turning the corner a little earlier, you'll still get all the hay, but you will leave a rounded corner that the baler can follow. And I tell you how many bales we got, but hey, I won't have a counter on this baler until Friday, so that is what it is. Mother Nature played here. I guess the other day, Mother Nature took a windrow and threw it out there in the trees somewhere across the road. Took one this morning and put it up in those trees. No, that's just the fun stuff. He's got we actually built a squeeze he's got on his tractor. It's like the one I've got on a skid steer, but his is a little narrower. He can only pick up 3 wide. He can pick up 4 wide, which is good for him. He's good enough running it to do that. If it was a 4 wide, he'd probably drop more bales. But, say in the meantime, I don't know. And I was just taking a guess earlier. They're probably pushing 1,000 bales on that field. And this one is not quite as heavy. It's still heavier than normal, but, well, I shouldn't say heavier than normal. It's heavier than it could be. And there's usually about between 300 and 400 on this one anyway, at least. So we'll see what there is when we're done, since we got to count them. My counting's easy. 88 bales per bale wagon load. Okay, we'll see if I can do this. Just got the computer reset. Bales go in there, come up on there, get shoved over, pushed up there. then shoved up there. And it'll be fun. One-handed. Maybe I can do this. There's how they come up. Sorry, you gotta look at the ground. There's the next one. Trips, puts them up. And I'm gonna let you go and bring you back. Okay, brought you back. And give her a little hand throttle. It puts 10 bales on that table, then tips them up. That's bale number 10. Like that. Like that. And then hopefully I'm not on too much of a hill and it'll come back down. Well, so much for that idea. Once again, made for flat ground. So that's when you throttle on it and you hit the brakes. It comes down, and when it gets almost down, hydraulic cushions and stops. We do that 9 times. 2 of those 9 times, there's a slot right there and one over there. There's a set of spikes. The first 2 bales go up, the spikes go into the bale, and then there's another lever kicks up down here underneath that bale, and it puts 3 single bales in the center, and then it puts 4 more bales on and goes up, and that makes the tie tier. So that might be all you get for tonight. We'll see. Sorry about that. Radio made noise right when I started. That's what a tie tier looks like on the wagon. That's the 7th tier. 8th tier will be a regular one, and 9th will be a regular one. And then I go dump it. And the biggest thing I want to do tonight, all I'm going to do is this one load, because I started at 5 o'clock this morning and it's 7 o'clock now and I'm not done yet. I want to get away from the road. It's been quite a few years ago now, but we had between 20 and 30 bales stolen right over there alongside the road. So we always make sure and get some out. That's what kind of irritates me about the landowner knocking that whole end off. He complains about being on a side hill at all with his little tractor, and half what he took was on a side hill. He could have been all on flat ground and got it away from the road. Then maybe I wouldn't have to worry about it tonight. And where I don't have a counter working on the baler at the moment, I don't know how many bales are here for sure. If I did, and I knew how many were here, and anything was missing in the morning, it'd be out of his share, not mine. So, anyway, probably call that good. See if I can back over a bale. One thing about this machine, you are totally blind backing up. I may just run down the other end empty, get another pass away from the road. I need 18 bales, so yeah. Alrighty. A bunch of people asked how much this holds. With the 2 tie tiers in it, it holds 88 16 by 18 bales. This machine is a New Holland 1075, which is actually made to only be a block stacker. It's made to block stack 16 by 18s or the 16 by 23 3-tie bales. I don't know that I've ever stacked 14 by 18s with it. Now the fun part is that tie tier is not very stable, and I'm going downhill. And if it falls in, I got a bunch of handwork to do. The bed on this, our first self-propel was a 1048, which was made for stacking these, or the smaller bales, in a regular stack. And see if we can get this. And the bed on it was longer. This bed's like 14 inches shorter, something like that. It's quite a bit shorter because it's not made to do it, but it will do it. With machines made to do it, you put the second table down before you dump. And actually the ones made to do it are a lot better on hillsides, because one little trick is you weld a piece of water pipe on the front of the deck, and it helps keep them leaned back. You can't do that on this because you end up with the last row. I scooched that one. I got ahead of myself. There it went. We let the second table down just a little bit and then dump it. After the bed's up a ways, you can go ahead and let it down. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can get somebody to take some video when I unload a load and show that. I was kind of hoping to have somebody else run a baler for me today, and I'd be out here. And then maybe at some point, whoever was running baler could take a little video, but that didn't happen. And I'm going to cuss this tomorrow because bales pick up better one way than the other way. And where I'm taking this much one-sided, I just won't be able to go all the way around the field. Well, I'll be able to go all the way around the field, but half of it's going to be harder to pick up. So, try to show you. Sure beats doing it by hand. And yes, I remember those days. When I was a kid, we did not only our own hay, but we did a lot of custom baling. And we baled between 150,000 and 200,000 bales a year. We literally wore balers out in 3 or 4 years. I think the longest we had one back then was 5 years. There was not much left of them. Yeah. You can replace some parts, but other parts is the main part of the baler. Cheaper to buy new. Yeah, it's taken me a while because I'm filming. I need both hands for this. And wait for it, wait for it. If you only knew what a pain in the butt this is one-handed. These things are like a dinosaur moving across the ground. And hopefully I don't break the bale, I'm half over. There it goes. Oop, sorry, I got my hand in the way. And once it's up like that, it'll stay there because it's on the last set. This thing's old, so I don't want to hit the cab. So I do like that. Shut the hydraulics off, it gets quiet. I don't know what happened, I bumped a button. Back off the top of that bale, and I go home. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't, please. And tomorrow, maybe I'll get lucky and get somebody to video a little bit of picking this up.